as we do in every game, we always start with the salute. Gentlemen, to victory! Yes. Let's game, boys. Here we go.
Let's do this.
Welcome to the new campaign. All right. The adventure begins in the land known as Varesia. So I want to pull this map out. If you'd be so kind as to stretch that map out and open it up a little bit there and put it down. Awesome. All righty. So this is only one fourth of the entire inner region. So you can see how big this area is, but you can see Varesia is here. Okay, more specifically in this Varesian Gulf area here, and then the city of Magnamar. These are going to be our points of interest as we play this campaign. So I just wanted to give you a reference of where you're at as we begin. So why don't I go ahead and just read from the Inner Sea Guide and give you just a little rundown of Varesia. A sprawling region caught between the southern nations of Taldor's old empire and the northern lands ruled by the Lenorm kings, Varesia has long been considered a backwater. As Varesia lacked any significant coastal settlements to raid, the Lenorm kings traditionally bypassed the region in favor of attacking the southern kingdoms, while in the south, the distances involved made exploration of the area uneconomical. Only in the past few hundred years have the nations of the Inner Sea turned their attention to Varesia, and they found a land ripe for exploration. Something the Varesian people have known for thousands of years, yet have long maintained their silence about. So the adventure begins during the deep night, aboard a large warship sailing due east through the foggy and choppy waters of the Varesian Gulf. The warship, duly named Natural Selection, hammers the waves with its bow and uses its ballista-laden armored pontoons to keep the vast ship steady. So what you have is a warship blazing through the ocean, and it actually has a huge hull, but on the side it actually has pontoons, but they're laden with huge ballistas. It's a very famous ship. It's actually not a pirate ship, it's an actually commissioned ship by the military, and it patrols the waters, and it's known for wrecking pirates. This area in the Varesian Gulf is also known as to be heavy in pirate activity as well. So this evening, though, the fog is thick and wet. It has been basically like this for countless of nights, severely limiting visibility to the point where sailing has needed to be completed by basically instrument only. Eerie, cold, wet. These are the terms used to describe the last few days sailing the Gulf towards Magnamar, the city of monuments. At the rear end of the main deck of the ship, the Natural Selection, lie the officers' quarters. Two ornate, polished doors made of oak are there, when one of them burst open, and Ivandar leaps out.
Well, Ivandar is a human, probably late teens, early 20s. Definitely has the Errol Flynn type look, swashbuckler, tragically good looking, really, really good looking, and he has the look of being quick and fast. He is wearing leather armor with a tunic over it. He has, leather pants, kind of the swashbuckler boots with the fold-over cuffs. Big hat, big kind of piratey swashbuckler hat with a feather plume on it, and a great billowing blue cloak. On his side, he carries a rapier. On the other side, he has a pistol, and he also has a buckler strapped to him as well.
Well, you burst through the door and land at the rear end of the main deck, and then quickly take a look behind you back into the room that you just left, and you look, and what you see is the an officer's quarters. It's not the captain's quarters, but it's one of the officer's quarters. And behind there you look, and it is a chamber of the captain's daughter, who is one of the officers, who is in bed currently. She's a gorgeous woman. Her name is Vanessa, and she's basically right now just wrapped in a sheet. Now, odd that you're leaving.
Yeah.
The reason you are leaving, though, is because you look on the other end of the chamber, and is an adjoining room to the captain's chamber, and that door is open, and in the doorway is the captain, Captain Kroll. So Captain Kroll, of course, is like, get him! So, but first, before we go any further, let me go ahead and give you an idea of what Vanessa looks like. So, red hair, very pretty. That you don't see anything on her other than a sheet currently. You can keep that. That's for you. But you've known her. You've been on this ship for a couple days now. You flirted with her, of course, and stuff. And somehow you ended up in her chamber. Who knows how?
Well, it must have been a mistake. I thought this was the mess hall.
But you've been caught. So a military officer, Captain Kroll, who's renowned, he's the captain of this natural selection ship that goes around and patrols the seas. He's very stern, very organized, very detail-oriented, and he wears a big red sash, which shows his rank of captain, and has short hair. He's also rather handsome, and he looks like this. So you can keep that as well. So, basically now, the situation is you're in the chamber with the daughter. Somehow he opened the door, caught your ass, comes in, get up! And when he yells that out, the whole ship, is obviously busy doing their task. All the heads pop up around the ship, and they're all like,
Who is the closest to me?
Okay, so what you have in front of you is, so you're at the rear of the main deck. So basically behind you is the poop deck.
Right.
Okay, up there, and that's where obviously the helm is and all that stuff. You have, because there's 2 doors that go into the officers' quarters. Between you, you also have a hatch that'll go down into the hull, but it's closed currently. You have the main deck in front of you, and you see a pile of guys and heads pop up. You give me a perception check real quick, and I'll tell you if you see anything more.
20 plus perception of 9, so 29.
Okay. With that, you also see a pile of rum barrels stacked up on the starboard side. So in other words, down in the main deck on the starboard side, you can see some rum, basically kegs and barrels stacked up there. So basically, they're kind of underneath where you see the main mast. And with that, you may be able to use that to vault and jump and maybe clear anyone if you want to go that direction. But basically, going further into the main deck is going to put you into the mob.
Right.
But
is there anyone close to me? It's just the main deck. Are there, there's people all over the ship.
You rolled on your perception, you rolled 29. That's an incredible roll. Yes, there actually is, because if you decide to go up to the poop deck.
Anyone in front of me.
Not in front of you directly.
Okay.
But off to the side, though, you do see one of the crew hands scrubbing the deck, swabbing the deck, as they would say. So yes, that you see that. So what would you like to do?
I turn to the guy scrubbing the deck. Yes, Captain. Seize him. I'll get him for you, sir.
Sounds like that's a lie. So let's go ahead and do a bluff check.
That would be a bluff of 25.
25. So this guy scrubbing the deck looks up and is like, what? And of course, all the sailors here. So you're going against. It's basically against their sense motive.
Right.
Can they tell your lie? So we're doing a posed check here, and they're all like, get it! This guy's like, not me, not me. He gets up. Starts and everyone starts running, and then the captain bursts out of the door. Not him! Him!
And while they're charging, I'm going to the hatch.
Okay, you open up the hatch. There's no check involved in opening the hatch, but you can look down there and you actually see 2 more crew hands down there. But they're actually having a conversation. They're going to hear a little bit of ruckus, but they're actually not aware of the current situation at this time. What would you like to do?
I'm going to jump down into the hatch.
Okay, so you leap down, put your head down there.
The captain needs all hands on deck. There's a swab up there that needs some shellacking.
Sounds like another fib. Fib roll, please, against their sense motive.
That would be 21.
21. Well, I rolled a. So they're like, you got it, Ivandar! And they go screaming up there. So now you're in the hull. You basically have the whole ship gear available to you. There's another exit if you want to run underneath. You can go to the front of the ship and pop back out. But basically, you are in the underbelly of the ship.
Got it.
What would you like to do?
I've been on the ship for a while. Is there any place
have been on
that
the ship
I
for a
can hide out? Rope lockers,
Well, there is basically when you can go down and there is the hold and stuff, and you can go try to hide in the hold, and and they're going to search the hold. It's up to you if you want to do that. Yeah, you can try to do that.
Is there any other way off the ship? Any lifeboats, dinghies?
There are, and this ship does have a dinghy, and yeah.
Okay.
But that's back outside.
That's back outside in the middle of the ocean at night in the dark.
In the fog.
In the fog. All right, so we're going to run to the far side of this ship and climb back up on
and you hear the ruckus. Stomp, 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 stomp. People are obviously heading down into the hold to chase you. So you're staying ahead of them, and you actually can come back out. So now you're at the front of the ship, which is called the... Give it to me. Come on, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. God damn it. You're learning all these, the forecastle, yeah! Dude, learning ship stuff here. So you come up onto the forecastle and come out, and then it's pretty much chaos. So you actually got a little bit of time to think here. It's a 3-mast ship, so you actually have a mast there. You also have the main one. And then you also have, this ship has the pontoons as well. So give me a perception check. I'm going to see if you see anything else.
Perception is 15.
15, nice. Okay, you also know, because you remember, is there's also teleporters on this ship, and they teleport out to the pontoons for quick deployment to arm the ballistas. Now, the teleporters, if you don't know how to perform feats of magic, they do have amulets that let them do it. So that when you're on duty as a ballista operator, you would wear the amulet, and that would let you teleport. You don't have one right now.
Of course.
Okay. So one other thing you see too is when you get up there is there's one of the crewmen. His name is, give me one sec here. Rizzo. Rizzo has a dog. It's like a pit bull, and he's tied to the mast right next to you and starts barking, which all of a sudden heads go.
Dogs love me. I don't know what you're talking about.
You can do an animal handling check and see how much he loves you.
Yeah.
Okay, give me another perception check real quick.
That would be a 20. Perception 25.
You see two things. You see a crate of fish actually pretty close to you here, and you actually end up using your perception. It wasn't you didn't see it, you smelt it. Okay, so you have some fish over here, but then you also see some barrels, and you could, if you wanted to go up, you could get over the dog if you could make a check by bouncing off these crates and barrels and leap up and get onto a mast. Or you could head back into the main deck.
Oh, true. And I can also grab, slap a couple of those fish onto the deck for the dog to chew on.
You could?
Oh, puppy, come on. We're pals. Here, have a fish.
That you don't have to roll. The dog just dives right into the fish. He starts eating, so now you don't even have to worry about the dog.
Scampering up.
Okay, cool. Well, you scamper up to the first crossbeam, which is called, anyone? It's a yard. That's right. Okay, so you're on the lower yard. You scamper up to the lower yard here. It doesn't even take a climb check for you because it's very easy, and you're used to you and your profession is seamanship, you have seamanship as a profession. So you bust right up to there, no problem. The dog's busy and stuff, but you can actually see now the flow of sailors starting to. There he is, the forecastle, and they're coming over. Pitchforks, sabers, bumping into each other.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Now when you get up, and now you're on the lower yard now, when all of a sudden you see on the other end of the yard a guy named Maxwell. You hate this fucker. You don't like Maxwell. And he looks at you and he's like, Ivandah! Now he's very intense. He has like eyes that are kind of like a little off a bit, and one's open wider than the other all the time. He has a big grin. He's also thick. He's just a thick guy, and he's great to have on a ship because he can carry stuff. He's strong, and he has like traps. Like he has no neck. He's just all traps. Okay, and his name is Maxwell, but his nickname is Sharky. And the reason he's named Sharky is he shows you right now. He pulls out this punch dagger, and it's this gigantic shark's tooth. Okay, and that's how he got the nickname Sharky, because he said he killed the shark when it was trying to kill this big, long-blown story, which you just want to barf every time you freaking hear. And he's like, I'm gonna gut you, Ivandah. So he's on the other end, and he starts moving across the yard towards you. When you hear the captain yell out, I want him alive! And you look down, and you can see down on the main deck amongst all the mob that's heading your way, the captain is there. Next to the captain, you also see another person, Lieutenant Romar. Lieutenant Romar is his second in command, and he's just like a buff, shirtless, tattooed, head-to-toe thug. Okay. Also next to him, you also see his daughter, still wrapped in a sheet, still wrapped up in a sheet, very concerned for you, like doing the. Even though she's a very capable woman, she's not weak by any means, but you can tell there might be a little zing-zing going on there. And what would you like to do?
Ropes, I'm assuming?
Oh, yes. You see ropes all over the place.
All right, we're going to grab a rope. We're going to swing down to the captain.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So I'm going to need an acrobatics check for that.
Acrobatics, that would be a 25.
Well, that's a really nice roll you made there, Ivandah. That's about 2. So you're right there in front of the captain.
Okay.
Okay, the crowd spreads out. Everything goes quiet. And captain's looking at you. And he's all, stand down, son.
I will.
All right.
You have a problem?
I do.
And that problem is?
You went into the officers' quarters.
I went in or was invited in?
He looks at her, and she looks at him, and invited? Make a sense motive check.
Sense motive is a 13.
That's good enough. It's good enough. She lied. So he's all, get off my ship.
As you wish.
Okay.
Now?
That would be good.
Okay.
Get off my ship.
Wait, aren't you at sea? There ain't no lifeboat.
Give me a perception check. Because now, like, the gravity of your situation hits, but you have to roll really high.
He hit a 20.
That would be a 29.
20 will do. Okay, you actually now, like, everything, like, time kind of slows down. Okay, and now you, like, the gravity of your situation, you're about to get tossed off the plank, in a sense, and you know what that means. You're in probably shark-infested waters, the whole thing, you know, you're gonna die at sea. When you take a look, and then the fog kind of just all of a sudden softly clears a bit out in the distance, and you see lights. That could mean civilization. It
Lights
could
like
an
a ship? Or?
No, more like an island or maybe a city or something. And then the fog comes back. It was just a quick glimpse. Maybe there's hope that direction, but that's a beast of a swim.
Gotcha.
What was
Captain,
like
I would
there?
love to get off the ship. Why don't you drop me at the city right over there?
No dice.
No dice?
He looks at his crew. Do we want to put him on the plank? Hurrah! To the plank! To the plank! Men, get him. Hurrah! They all zero. Now they're coming in. What do you want to do?
I'm like, whoop. No.
They're coming.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I am-
We're going to go to initiative if you don't
Okay.
do something.
I'm like, do not touch me. I will do this myself.
Hold.
No one throws me off a ship. Oh, wink.
What? You see her just let out a little grin, and then she looks at it up. He's like, and what do you do?
I head for the plank.
You walk your ass off that
I
plank?
walked it. Is there anyone with a amulet?
Oh, good question. I will make a check. There we go. Why, yes, there is. As you're walking by, you see one of the deckhands who's obviously on ballista duty. Yeah, and he has one right on him.
Oh, Scruffy Pete, you were always my favorite. Go up and give him a hug.
Is there a skill called sleight of hand?
I believe there is a skill called sleight of hand.
Would you mind making a check on that for me, please?
That would be an 18.
And he's like, Ivandar, I've always thought you were a good guy.
Oh, I am a good guy. By the way, the key to our chambers is underneath the door on the left.
He's all like, totally glazed over. You got it. All
All
right.
right, so as we're walking towards the plank, is there one of the teleporters?
Let me check. You can actually, if you want, maneuver your way that way.
Okay. Well, maneuver my way
Okay.
that way. And I'm getting ready to jump where the teleporter is. And I'm like, men, it's been a pleasure. And jump out of the teleporter and then boom, disappear.
And now you're down on a pontoon.
Right.
Okay.
And so am I visible on the pontoon, or when I get to the pontoon, can I like duck out of the way? So
You can
they
go
don't
for a
see
stealth
me?
check.
Yeah.
Go for it. I'll give you, because you have enough concealment, we'll say.
Yep. Because it's dark, that's 23.
23?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Okay.
So yeah, it's dark, it's foggy.
Oh, it
when
is.
I
It
appear,
is.
If I can like,
And you're at a distance. Okay. And there was like, but they know where the teleporters go.
Right.
So immediately the captain's like, follow him! And then guys who have the amulets run over. And then Romar, Lieutenant Romar, he goes and actually, you see him actually do an arcane symbol, and he hits the teleporter. So now where you're at, you're hidden. Also, people actually land on the pontoon that you went to, and now they start searching. So would you like to make another stealth check?
or
Or would you like to make an action?
Yeah, as they're appearing. 'Cause
Yes.
I'm assuming they're coming in one at a
Sure,
time.
and you have time to react
Yeah,
between
so
that time.
as they come in, shove.
Awesome.
Whoop, shove. Whoop, shove. So
All right.
I'm behind them, so they're not seeing me.
Right,
So they're like,
right.
"Ha-ha! Dunk!"
All right, give me 3 rolls for the 3 that came through, And what we're going to do here is we're going to be using a combat maneuver.
Okay.
So you need to use your combat maneuver bonus, your CMB.
All right.
And I'm not going to, there's no attack opportunity because they're straight up flat footed because they're just landing and getting shoved. And you're just shoving guys overboard.
All right. So that is a die 20 plus 12. That's 24.
Splash.
That is 16.
Okay.
And that is a 27.
Splash. Then Romar shows up. No!
28.
This guy, I mean, he looks like a linebacker. He's buff, tattoos head to toe. He actually, when he teleported, he was facing you, and all of a sudden his eyes opened up like,
Right in the forehead.
and you hear the captain up on the main deck, God dang it! And he goes over and he's looking right at you, watching you push his crew up. Get him! And he's like red, dude. He's red. Veins are coming out of his head. I want him alive! I want him alive! Get him! And meanwhile, now you can still get to the pontoons the slow way, which is going downstairs.
Right.
So now you see the mob pillaging down the stairs and stuff. One of them, though, that you pushed didn't go overboard.
Right.
That was that lower roll. He's there and he draws a saber. You're going down, Ivandar.
He wants me alive. Hello? Did you not just hear him say, he wants me alive?
Make a diplomacy check.
They're not the brightest bunch.
No.
Diplomacy, that would be a...
He points his saber at you. Stand down, Ivandar. I don't want to gut you.
They're trying to kill me. He wants me alive. You should probably defend me. The captain would love it if he takes me alive. These guys trying to kill me.
Unfortunately, you're telling the truth. So that's a diplomacy. And you got him totally baffled. He's baffled. But meanwhile, is going on. What would you like to do?
We're going to keep scrambling and staying out of the way because every minute we do, we're getting closer to the lights.
Yes, actually, you are going a little bit parallel to the lights, so because you actually looked out over the starboard
Gotcha.
and saw them. So actually, and eventually, you will pass.
All right, I'm trying to judge when I get to the closest point.
Okay, and that's probably right about now.
Okay, then it's been a pleasure.
And you look up, and then all of a sudden, actually, you don't look up. You just hear something. A rifle. 19 against your armor class.
Nope.
In the nick of time, you are flat-footed,
Flat-footed.
so you don't get your dex.
That would take me to 19.
That's a hit, because it's a 19. Grazes your shoulder, a bullet. A little bit of blood here. Hold on. Let me give
That's
you.
always a good thing.
That'll make your swim a little more fun. Ooh, that's 12 points of damage. It actually sunk into your shoulder, and you got the bullet in you. And you look up, and it's the captain, and he takes the rifle up, and he sets it down, hands it to his daughter, who's still in the sheet. She holds it, and she's looking very concerned at you. And now you may go.
Well, so much for wanting me alive. I will foil you one last time. Goodbye.
Curse blue.
You'll never take me alive.
As you're jumping off and going down, you can see Romar climbing back up. And he just laser lock eyes with you like slow-mo.
As I'm falling in slow motion.
Now he's extra pissed. Well, you hit the waters and start doing your swimming. The waters aren't super choppy, but you're actually able to swim out. So we're going to just cut away a little bit now. So you're swimming, but we're just going to go back to the ship here. So Romar actually comes back and rejoins the captain, who's just sitting there watching you. And as you swim off into the distance, and you can see the captain is obviously not happy. But this is like a metagaming moment here,
right.
But more just for fun. So the captain goes to Romar and just like, who is he? And then Romar, that be Ivandar, sir. Shall we change course and go after him? No. Continue to Magnamar. We have an appointment to keep, and I'm not in the habit of being late. Then he looks over at his daughter, and she's like, looks back at him and gives a little, like that, and he's in disgust. Then he's just like, and he looks out, and there you are swimming away, and he's all, Ivandar.